What is happening below? We are getting too much suffering and pain. All the entities are gaining weight. You have to maintain the balance in your dome. If there is a great accident, there is also the danger of a great awakening of the people.
Call me the delivery service of my wishes now.
Master Lucy, what can I do for you?
Call a meeting of the public level of government.
Excuse my curiosity, my lord, but why them? Can we fulfill your wish?
No, it looks like we have a misunderstanding and very restless children down there.
You are invited to a meeting with the master tomorrow?
Gentlemen, is everything below according to plan? Do we have a contract? Have I fulfilled all the items on my part? Why this unprofessionalism, disobedience, and deviation from the plan? Do you want them to restart us? I invested so much time in you people. I gave you knowledge. I taught your women enjoyment, makeup, magic. Who passed that knowledge on to you? I taught you weapons, warfare. I nurtured your every passion, encouraged you to fulfill every desire, every sin. What more do you want?
My lord, it is not clear to me why the technocracy cannot be established immediately.
They can't until the plan of your fellow billionaire eugenicist is fulfilled. Parallel to that, the Chinese experiment of smart cities is running. The same one will soon be built in America. By the way, good job. There is no problem with you, and I invited you to attend as a courtesy. Just don't attack anyone militarily.
Thank you.
So we won't get technocracy at the state level anytime soon?
Actually, your fellow billionaire with his last game, when he played doctor and changed the way of life for the whole world, I expected that a mass of people would come to his gate with torches, as well as everyone who played his germ game, and that justice would confiscate all property, as well as the corporations that profited. However, he assured me that it would be faster than I expected, because the people are apathetic, and social networks are an excellent exhaust valve. Maybe Ukraine will be the first technocratic state in the world, after the restoration and distribution of spheres of influence. In any case, as far as technology is concerned, you are doing the right thing.
Yes, in the 70s, everyone knew the multiplication table, and then pocket calculator were widely available to everyone. In the 80s and 90s, everyone knew at least 10 phone numbers by heart, and then everyone relied on mobile phone directories. In these years, they will rely more and more on AI. For basic tasks, they will ask AI.
Even what they know, they will check and look for confirmation from AI until the moment they will not think at all, but everything will be programmed for them, from recipes in the kitchen to business meetings, and they will not take a step without asking AI.
Mr. Fired, why are you waving? What is wrong with you?
Lord, one person in this room is an idol to me. Ever since I wanted to build a tower in his city, and since he no longer goes to the meetings and gatherings of your delivery service without any consequences, he made his country great and is making
and makes it even bigger. He returned the traditional values to his people. He got rid of reptilian agendas.
What he does is for me on a tactical level. It is important that nothing changes strategically. It is important that the majority still look at my Statue of Liberty.
Well, I just want America to be great again.
You do it by hitting with a stick and waiting for the person you hit to call and apologize. When your ego is satisfied, you resolve interests bilaterally. And when you encounter an even bigger ego, it happens that the containers do not arrive at the ports, and the prices of those products that are still left rise many times.
But we reached an agreement, and America got the benefit of further trade that will improve our economy.
These are trivial things. You must always keep in mind that you are not alone. You have your younger brother in terms of statehood, but your father in terms of obedience. Everything you do must be for his good, because your Congress Hall is not in the shape of an eagle, but in the shape of a menorah.
Is that why all positions of power are assigned to them?
That's right. Finance, because there is submissiveness in them. Media and social networks, because it influences how people will think. Music and film, because of their hypnotic effect and sublimated messages. And we also have centers that each fulfill their role. Vatican Soul, London Mind, Washington Muscles.
That's why the frequency of the music was changed to 440 hertz.
Yes. And that's why there are no songs that talk about love, family, education, but about gangs, ghetto, shootings, champagne, expensive cars, songs for women have nothing spiritual or vitally important, only the fulfillment of low passions, in as many as possible. Material values, while idols set unrealistic heights for them. That's why in every movie, America is the savior of the world, and the last ninja is an American. The Last Samurai, is an American.
Then why am I the bogeyman of the world? I did not come into contact with enemy entities. I did not expose the modus operandi and intentions of your chosen people to the whole world. And in the end I did not persecute them as did the predecessor of the title of bogeyman of the world.
That's how the cards are dealt in this time. After all, what do you lack? You don't have the media to brainwash you and social networks that would dictate trends to your people. You don't have food chains to make you cannibals, nor any products with which you introduce poisons into yourself, from cosmetics to drinks. And you are the only country that mentions the fight against reptiles in the primetime news, without the audience looking at you as a conspiracy theorist. Regarding the chosen ones, they were not originally my choice, but through prophet they were the choice of God. But they renounced him, and until they return to him and know him, they cannot return that title, and thus the right to the promised land. I just stepped in and offered them a shortcut.
Then, what is the point of everything we do?
The point is balance and control, balance in the suffering and pain that go up through the domes of all religious buildings, and control so that there is no realization and movement of the soul towards good. So, when you look at the map of the world, there is some kind of conflict everywhere. But again, it is not a general war. That people are still divided into religions and nations, although God is the creator of everything as one, only the names are different. Of course, the fact that the languages are different comes from ours above, and divided into nations so that they don't understand that they are all earthlings and should be like a beehive or an ant colony. That's why the whole UFO confusion and a cover-up, because if they knew about the external factor, the internal one would united. There was a civilization in the past, the Russian Balkan ancestors. They lived in harmonious frequencies. All their buildings resonated or amplified Schumann's resonance. But we had to cover it with mud, and the few buildings that were left we converted to our scale. And the Great Wall of China was their work. But to protect against China, not China. It is important that at every moment in every corner of the world, a new phone model arrives before, for example, let's say, a Japanese sidewalk that generates electricity when people walk on it, or that America prefers to give money for a new rocket than for a Chinese train of 500 kilometers per hour. That the Russian law related to childbirth and mothers is kept only in Russia, if Libya with its free education, health care, public transportation, and distribution of money from oil exploitation to every citizen, plus salaries and profits they have from their occupations, sets a bad example to the world, immediately remove such a regime. After 2,000 years of this civilization, if the whole world adopted the best achievements of a certain country, the planet would be an ideal place. And if it wasn't for me and my delivery service that serves me from generation to generation, Eden would have returned a long time ago. If there are no more questions, resolve those armed conflicts. There are too many of them, and continue as planned.
Can I just ask when I will be able to travel to Mars?
Never. If you went beyond the lower orbit, you would be the man who got the farthest. Since the Great Galactic War, we are in quarantine under the dome. The world you know is at the bottom of the crater of a much larger planet, bordered by ice behind which there is more land than the dome. There are several habitable craters, and everything else is like the surface of Mars. Exit is possible only through the poles by entering the depth of the planet, then exiting to an uninhabitable surface or another crater.
As the richest man in the world, an advocate of freedom and against censorship, I need to say all this publicly to everyone. The world needs to know the truth. I think that we are civilization ally ready for all the truths without panic or the collapse of the system.
First, who says you are the richest man? Where is your money? Where do you keep it? Gold? Anything valuable to prove that claim? After all, how many cars have you sold to support that claim? How come the best car manufacturers from Europe with decades of quality and work are not close to those fictitious billions? I'm afraid that you believed in your own marketing and the numbers that my delivery service entered for you. It's interesting how every oligarch believes that he is a God-given businessman, the smartest, and forgets what my services made possible for him and the state forced out.
Yes, they get wings.